Aunt Jennifer's tigers, we understand that perhaps the poetess is talking about a character, Aunt Jennifer, and her tigers. Actually, you can say the hidden meaning of the poem is very different from its title. It's nothing much related to any of her pet tigers or tiger as a favorite animal, nothing related to that. Basically, this is a poem written by Andreen Rich illustrating her feminist concerns. She talks about the male dominance. She talks about the time when Aunt Jennifer was a dutiful homemaker. And the poem, through the words of Aunt Jennifer, tells us about her inner desire to free herself from the clutches of dissatisfied married life and patriarchal society, we can say. Right? So let me give you a brief about the poetess now. Okay. Harshita, shall we start reading about the poetess?
Yes, ma'am. Andreen Cecil Rich, American poet, essayist, and feminist, one of the most
Harshita, just give
widely
a pause here. Your voice is not audible.
Cecil Rich, American poet and essayist and feminist, one of the most widely read and influenced poets of the second half of the 20th century. She talks about a woman's experiences in her married life. She has tried to explore the inner feelings of a woman who is living under the dominance of men.
Right. So, as I told you, the poem is written by Andreen Rich. She was an American poet, an essayist, and feminist. She talks about a woman's experience in her married life. The poem basically tells about her unhappy married life where Aunt Jennifer, a character, she's suppressed, unhappy, dissatisfied, and leading you can say, a life which is not according to her whims and fancies, where she is suppressed every time, where she has to take up the commands, she has to take up the orders. Now, the first question which comes up in our mind related to this is, well, how is it related to tigers? Basically, in this poem, we find Aunt Jennifer, who is a homemaker and a very dutiful person. She is doing an embroidery on a screen. Maybe it's a wall hanging, maybe it's a tablecloth, right? But she's doing an embroidery and she has embroidered beautifully yellow colored shining tigers on that piece of cloth. Her tigers, now, tiger animal, as we all understand, is symbolic of courage, strength, fearlessness, right? You will never, it is one of the wild animals which is, who never walks in a group, who is always all alone and is a fearless animal. He is a lion or a tiger, we can say, is the one who ruled the wild kingdom, right? So this animal is symbolic of fearlessness, courage, tremendous strength, which is simply opposite what we find here in Aunt Jennifer's case. To express herself. She never was able to fulfill her desires or her wishes. Through these tigers, she expresses herself. She expresses the courage, the strength of her inner self, right? We can start with it. Harshita, please read out the first stanza.
And Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the trees. They pace in sleek chivalric certainty.
Yes. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across the screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They pace in sleek, they pace in sleek chivalric certainty. Now, Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across the screen. Basically, they are in that they're moving fastly, in a fast pace. They're jumping on the screen. Bright topaz, world of green. Now they are very bright. Topaz is a stone which is yellow in color. It is dazzling yellow in color, and the background is of the green of the forest. The greenery is there. These tigers, they do not fear the men beneath the tree. They're not scared of anyone. The men standing beneath the tree, they're not scared of the men. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. They are running, they are in a pace, they're moving fastly, courageously, full of valor. Harshita, please read out the explanation once, dear.
Okay. The poet is talking about a lady whom she addresses as Aunt Jennifer. She is embroidering a piece of cloth. It could be a tablecloth or a wall hanging. The pattern shows tigers who are moving and jumping all over the fabric. They are bright yellow in color, like the color of the topaz stone, use of metaphor. The dense green forest background is their home. They are the proud and fearless citizens of the forest. Here is a contrast between Aunt Jennifer and her tigers. The tigers are fearless, but this lady who is embroidering them is not so. The tigers look elegant, shining, and full of the gentleman's grace.
So the poet is describing a lady whom she addresses as Aunt Jennifer, as I told you. Aunt Jennifer is doing embroidery on a piece of cloth, which could be a tablecloth or a wall hanging. Now, she has designed beautiful jumping tigers on it, and the tigers are running fearlessly in the green background, in the green forest. She has described the beauty by comparing them with a precious yellow stone, which is topaz. I told you topaz is a dazzling yellow colored stone. They appear bright yellow in the green backdrop of the forest. Now, the tigers are fearless and they're not affected by the presence of men. Now, this is there's a contrast between the behavior of the tigers and Aunt Jennifer. This is ironical. Aunt Jennifer herself, she is a fearful lady who is burdened by the responsibilities of the married life. She is suppressed. She has to take up the commands. She cannot take any decision of her own. But vice versa with the tigers. The tigers which she is embroidering, they are proud and they are fearless citizens of the forest. And they are very shiny and elegant. Varun, just take a small pause here. Now, we have finished the first stanza. Now, in this stanza, we find the metaphor is used here when the tigers are used with dazzling topaz, right? Let's move on to the second stanza. Harshita, please read out the second stanza.
Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand.
Now, Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool. Fluttering basically here refers to as she's scared of her husband, so her hands or fingers are trembling out of fear. Find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The fingers are she's so much scared that her hands, her fingers are trembling that she's even finding it difficult to pull the ivory needle. The needle with which she's doing that embroidery work, she's finding it difficult to pull. She's so much scared that her hands are trembling out of fear and she's finding it difficult to pull the needle. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. Now, the massive weight, the weight of wedding band, the wedding ring which she's wearing in her hand, the wedding ring which was given to her by her husband. As it is Aunt Jennifer, so her husband here is referred as uncle. So the wedding band which uncle had given to her sits heavily upon her hand. Now this statement, this line is, it's like a pun used here. Her wedding band sits heavily upon her hand. Basically, see, there are two things to be noted here. One thing, she is not having that bonding with her husband that till date, she is now in her old age, but she's not able to call that wedding band her own. She still calls it as her husband's wedding band, right? So uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon her hand. Now, here it is mentioned that the weight of the wedding band is so much that it is quite heavy for her. Actually, this is not simply meaning that the weight is heavy. It means that the burden of that married life is weighing very heavy upon her. She's feeling troublesome because of that. She's troubled because of that burden of married life, the responsibilities, the depression, the suppression, the that orders which she have to take up. She's finding it's very she's feeling that pain and agony. That is why she's not able to bear the weight of the wedding band, right? Please read out the explanation here.
The lady's fingers are trembling with the fear of her husband. She is pursuing her hobby in her free time, but probably she is still afraid of her husband who could scold her. Her fingers are so tired of working endlessly all her life. The needle is so heavy that she cannot hold it.
Wedding band, as the band was bought by her husband, it is his till today. The lady is dependent on her husband. She is still burdened by the weight of the ring. Weight here means the encirclement or trapping that has fallen upon her by getting married to him. She has been burdened by the obligations of married life and has become the man's property. So basically, again, all the lines here, they tell about her unhappiness in her life, in her married life, the troubles which she has been bearing for such a long time, the pain, the agony which she carries in her heart. She has been living a demanding life due to which she has worn out in her old age. Now, in her old age, she feels tired, she's fed up, but she feels helpless. She's still scared. She's not able to express herself, right?
Fear of Aunt Jennifer towards her husband. She says that while she is doing embroidery, her fingers are quivering or shaking with fear of her husband. Her husband doesn't approve of her hobby of embroidery. Therefore, she trembles while she is embroidering the piece of cloth. It has become difficult for her to pull her needle up and down. Then she describes the wedding ring which was given by uncle to Aunt Jennifer on their wedding day. She says that it is a kind of burden for her to wear this ring. She has been tortured by her husband so much that the wedding ring, which could have been a beautiful gift for her, seems like a burden to her. She has faced so many difficulties in her married life that the little ring is described as a heavy band on her trembling finger. This means that the ring is associated with some bad experiences in the form of torture she has faced because of her husband's dominating behavior.
Okay, now we're coming on to the third stanza. When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tiger in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. Now, these lines tells about her condition. The poetess's actual condition that she is absolutely helpless. She cannot do anything now, right? She feels so helpless that she says that even after the death, her terrified hands will lie with the same married band, still ringed with the ordeals she was mastered by. Still, she was taken up by still she will be commanded by the orders, right? And the tigers in the panel, but the tigers which she has embroidering, but the tigers in the panel that she had made will go on prancing, will go on jumping, right? They will keep on jumping, proud and unafraid. They'll be absolutely jumping, proud and unafraid.
Yes, ma'am. Her wish to live a free, fearless life is indicated by her choice of design, tiger. It shows her innermost desire of being strong, fearless, which has been powered by her husband. Probably her ordeal will end up upon her death. Her frightened, shaking hands will be put to rest, but still, even after death, the ring shall remain on her hand. That is, her husband's rule over her is not yet over. After her death, her desire of freedom and fearlessness shall remain alive in these tigers which she has embroidered.
Right. So basically, we see that her urge to desire, her urge to be free from that brutality, from that harshness, from that taking up the orders and commands every time, from that captured life. She wants to be free. But she again expresses her helplessness, where she says that till the time she dies, she will be carrying that weight of the wedding band. She needs to carry the burden of the unhappy married life, right? But her innermost desire of being strong, fearless, which has overpowered her as husband. So she says that her problems will end up only after her death. Her frightened, shaking fingers will be put to rest at that time only. And even after death, the ring that burdens will remain on her hand, that her husband's rule was still not over, right? And after her death, her desire of freedom and fearlessness shall remain alive in these tigers. But that desire of being free would be easily seen at that time also through these prancing tigers, through these jumping tigers. So here on I've completed the third stanza. Let me give the explanation. The poet says that one can easily sense Anne's desire for freedom and fearlessness through her design of tigers. Further, she says that it is not possible for Anne to achieve this freedom during her lifetime. She will attain it only after death. But then there is irony that she will be tied up with these shackles in the form of her husband's wedding ring. The ring was the sole proof of the tortures which she had faced from her husband. On the other hand, there are the tigers designed by Aunt Jennifer, which will always depict her desire of living a fearless life by jumping proudly and bravely on the piece of cloth. We can stop here.